Yo! There's a lot of dumbass criminals to talk about, baby. It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha-ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha-ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people on meth. Ow!
Actually, scratch that. Enter in the word dog. D-O-G. Wrong three-letter word. I was looking at next hour. So you already have the code for next hour as well. Congratulations.
Scribble that down.
I made that easy, huh? There you go. So dog is what you enter in right now. D-O-G. D-O-G. We'll get you there for the Summer Escape Universal Orlando Resort. All right, well, apparently the comments of Sheriff Wayne Ivey in Brevard County was not warmly received by some people in the pop world, including Lizzo. You remember he is the one that said, you throw a brick, a firebomb, you point a gun, we will kill you graveyard dead. Remember
Yes.
that clip?
He was intense.
Yeah, before they had the demonstrations over the weekend. Well, Lizzo, her reaction was not very good. She said, we don't serve a king or a dictator, and Americans, you need to know and defend your rights. So she was against what he had to say, and she said, you know, these remarks are unconstitutional, they're appalling, and saying law enforcement was threatening those exercising their First Amendment rights. Of course, you can imagine that Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey was like, I'm so sorry, Lizzo, you're right, I shouldn't have said that.
I'm sure he's broken up.
Yeah, he was really broken up. No, they asked him about it. He's like, Lizzo who? And then he said, what she thinks matters exactly zero to me. And he said, look, my threats, listen to them again, were actually aimed at violent protesters, not the peaceful ones. So I said, yes, if you're peacefully protesting, you're fine, but you throw a rock at us, you point a gun, all that kind of stuff is what I was referring to. Lizzo has not responded to his retort yet.
If I threw a brick at a police officer, I would expect to get shot. Or tased, or something.
I would agree with that.
You can't throw bricks at people.
It's not a peaceful protest
No.
if somebody catches a brick in the head.
That's assault at that point.
But if nobody's throwing bricks and people are just assembled, I also don't agree with shooting them with rubber bullets.
Well, I agree. I think if you're being peaceful, you have that right to protest. It's when you turn violent, things are going to get a little hairy.
Have you guys been following the Karen Reed trial? She's the one accused of killing her police officer boyfriend back in 2022. They found him in the snow.
Love this trial. I love everything. I love what happened yesterday.
Okay, you do. Well, here was the verdict.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282 CR 117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you?
Charlie.
No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge?
Basically, they said not guilty.
Not guilty
on all
to
that.
everything.
Thank you.
This is such a police conspiracy and a cover-up. And I think the cops that are friends with this guy, that he was a cop too, I think they killed him. I think they put him out in the yard and they tried to frame her for running over him. And I don't think she did. I've listened to all the details. I don't think she did it.
Here's what she said after the verdict was read.
I just want to say two things. Number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have and my team. Thank you.
Okay. It says after the mistrial, she was retried and will serve 1 year probation. Now, that had to do with her drinking and driving. Is that what that was?
That is her crime.
Okay.
She was drinking and driving, and I think she even admits that openly, says she made a mistake, all that. And of that, she is definitely guilty. But she did not hit him. She did not run him over and kill him.
This is a slam dunk case. I don't know it that well. I was trying to catch up with it yesterday because it was all over the news.
Fascinating. fascinating. So if you go look, some people have deep dove into pictures that were taken at this house. So she brought him to a house after they had been out at a bar drinking. She brought him to this house for a house party. I don't think she wanted to go or whatever. For some reason, he went in and she didn't.
They had a fight, right?
They had. Well, that's what the cops are saying, but I don't know if this fight ever happened. I don't know. I don't know what happened. He goes in the house. She didn't go. And there's pictures from the basement in this house of weights. Like, you know how you lift weights with like little
dumbbells,
dumbbells.
barbells,
So they were trying to figure out what this mark on his head was. And a TikTok sleuth is like, that looks like the side of a dumbbell that you do for lifting weights. This internet sleuth is like, that's what killed him was blunt
So this
force
came out
trauma.
on social media and not in the courtroom?
Well, yes.
Objection, guys.
Because there's no proof. There's no proof. These cops covered it up, according to the social media sleuth.
That seems like a really big clue that if
But-
I were the attorney, you would want to get an expert to...
The experts that testified said that he did not die from a car hitting him. He died from blunt force trauma to the head from an object they can't identify. And they found fragments of her tail light at the scene, but only after they had confiscated her car, brought it to the police station, were looking at it, and then, all of a sudden, then they find brake tail light fragments at the scene. She did not hit that man, and the expert said it on the stand. He was not hit by a car. He was killed by blunt force trauma to his head.
Wow. Okay. I know a lot of people were in that. Boy, when they read the verdict, which it was taking too long to get to, but the point I wanted to hear was when they said not guilty, finally at the end of that very long clip, you could hear the crowd outside from inside the courtroom, which was crazy.
They
just
know
the
what's
crowd
up.
They had.
The crowd outside knows that it was a police cover-up.
So they
and
think
it was shady.
the police killed him?
Yeah.
And he was a police officer.
Yeah.
So they got drunk and then they killed him at the party?
That's
Yeah.
what it would allude
That's
to.
what
Now,
people are saying.
now that she has been acquitted, will they try to put together charges against those guys?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Sounds like it'd be the right thing to do, no?
It does, but where's the evidence?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like take it to TikTok and
Take
they'll
it to
solve the whole
TikTok.
crime.
Get that free weight that was in the basement and see if it matches the mark on his head.
Yeah, if cops won't do the investigative work, there's somebody on TikTok that will.
Amen.
Did you see the video clip of the 32-year-old woman named Leanna Perry who had a violent drunken meltdown before takeoff aboard the Southwest flight at New York's LaGuardia Airport?
They were so nice to this girl. She was acting a fool. If she would have done that to me or anybody in my group, I would have taken off my shoe and beat her with it.
Yeah, she grabbed another woman's hair, shouted obscenities, kicked passengers and crew as they tried to restrain her.
She spit on people.
Yeah.
When they were restraining her and she could no longer hit or kick or pull hair, she was spitting on these people, and these people just sat there and did nothing. They did not retaliate. I'm like, you are better than me.
Well, cabin crew and other passengers zip-tied her hands behind her back. A video shows the moment that she was yanked from the plane. She was screaming. There was resistance. She was saying terrible things to the woman whose hair she was pulling.
Let go. For him.
You cannot do that.
Let go.
You need to let go right
We need
now.
those 911.
You need to let go.
911 back.
You need to let go right now.
Mr. Person here right now. Look at this fat lady. Look at this fat ass. She can't even look. You can't even see her stomach. It's horrible. Look at her outfit. Look at this fat ass. Hilarious. You can't even show your mouth because you're embarrassed. You can't even see it because you're embarrassed. Shut the up.
Wow.
Who's the one?
Sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, ugly ass dude. Who's never gonna lay it again.
I have a feeling she's terrible sober, too.
I would
So-
agree with that.
This, I'm telling you, I don't think she's drunk. She's on something. And I
okay.
think this is a problem on a lot of flights. Flight attendants are saying this. People are going on flights and they're taking something that they bought that they've never taken before that's supposed to calm them down for their flight. Maybe they're going to sleep. Maybe they have anxiety. I don't know what. But people are having adverse reactions to stuff that they take to get on a flight.
She sounds drunk to me, and she probably could be on something as well, but I guarantee you that woman had alcohol in her system.
She may, but she wasn't slurring. She was composed. She was smiling. She was making eye contact. She was not. Trust me, I know drunk.
But not everyone slurs when they're drunk. I'm telling you.
I don't think she was drunk.
All right. Well, you don't know. I
watched the video. Did you watch the video?
Yes, I've seen the video.
Okay.
She looks sober and on something.
She sounds sober.
She looks on something, not drunk.
All right. Well, whatever it was.
Yeah, it don't matter.
An a-hole, yeah. I mean, no matter what it was. So she's going to be in trouble, and that's going to stay with her. There's a couple in Indiana that got caught with their hands down each other's pants while attending a school dance recital at St. John, Indiana.
They were on something.
Yeah, they were apparently performing lewd acts on one another during a large dance recital inside the auditorium.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
The officer saw a woman with her hand down the man's pants and could physically see that she was fondling his genitals, it says. And then they said that the man's left hand was down the front of her pants.
Oh, my.
And he was,
Whoa.
Dylan.
They were double dipping.
Yeah, they say they could be looking at 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $5,000.
Dang.
That lewd act.
Do they really go to jail for that, or are they going to give them a slap on the wrist?
Probably slap on the wrist.
Yeah, I think so, too.
And this is kind of a crazy story. A 42-year-old man called police after he discovered that his ex-fiancée had married him without him knowing.
What?
Married him without him knowing?
How do you do that?
They did this in the show The Office. He tricked somebody into Dwight tricked somebody into marrying him.
Okay, was she there?
Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't. He wasn't even present. She convinced a pastor to certify their union without him even being present.
What?
Yes, he wasn't even there. That's how goofy this whole thing is. He's not there. He's like, you're married? Be like, I wasn't even there. Like, it doesn't matter. She found the right guy.
Was the pastor on something?
You're married now.
What the hell?
Exactly.
I was talking to the lieutenant. I said, I don't think in 23 years I've ever heard of anybody who managed somehow to get married to someone who wasn't present for a ceremony. I've talked to the victim, and he's going through a significant process to try to have to fix this at this point.
Yeah.
He should
How
sue.
annoying. Yeah.
He should sue her.
Right. Or and whoever that pastor was, too.
Yeah, sue him, too.
Yeah. She's been arrested for stalking as a part of it. And finally, a former Truist Bank employee is suing after a boss's prank placing a life-size Chucky doll in her chair triggered her severe doll phobia.
I've got that Chucky doll thing. Is awesome.
Yeah, the incident caused PTSD worsened by her autoimmune disorder and ended her employment, and now she is suing Truist Bank.
Wow.
How about that, huh?
That Chucky doll is sweet. I'll take a video of it today, put it on social media.
It'll get 10 likes.
Yeah.
I'd get 20.